The head honcho over at the MCU, Kevin Feige, is calling himself a loser. No, seriously, really, it's in the stories, the articles. He's got a quote, we've got the video. We'll show it to you. So why would the big boss of Marvel dare declare something like this? But what if I told you it's all about virtue signaling and staying on the right side as a white dude of history? It's a great day. It's a groovy day, folks. Welcome. Thank you for coming our way. It's a pleasure as we endeavor together to explain entertainment. Keeping you ahead of the culture curve is what we do with a zeal that even the Holly Weirds can feel. As we go into today's conversation, consider clicking that like button. Drop a comment down below and let us know your thoughts. And without further ado, let's do what we do and talk about the latest news. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got our story here from Geeks and Gamers, and it's the story of a loser. Soy un perdedor. Oh, he's a loser, baby. Marvin Montenaro writing this one. Marvin, you're no loser, but Kevin Feige says he is. And I'm here to tell you, folks, it's all fake. It's fake. Kevin Feige says he feels like a gigantic loser. Un perdedor gigante. Over Marvel's Blade failure. Well, here's an idea, Kevin. Just make a movie about a guy killing whatever, vampires, all right? Go at it. Have at it.
Oh, he addresses that.
It's not this hard. It's really not this hard. Wesley Snipes is ready to sign the contract. He's ready to get the check. Kevin Feige has called himself a loser and failure over Marvel's inability to bring Blade back to the big screen. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige has built a reputation over the last 2 decades as the steady hand guiding the Marvel Cinematic Universe through unprecedented success. But after years of delays, rewrites, director changes, and mounting fan frustration surrounding Marvel's planned Blade reboot, Feige is now publicly acknowledging what many fans concluded long ago. Speaking on the Happy Sad Confusified podcast, Feige admitted the studio's inability to launch Mahershala Ali's version of Blade remains one of the biggest professional disappointments. Quote, I am feeling like a gigantic loser and failure that we didn't get off the ground with that. Here we go.
How much time in therapy have you spent talking about Blade? This poor project. We just need to get this done, Kevin. How are you doing?
Therapy. Should we get into a therapy session?
Yeah, lie down. I mean, we all want it. Mahershala wants it. How are you feeling at this moment?
I'm feeling very excited that we got Wesley back for a time in Deadpool and Wolverine, and like a gigantic loser and failure that we didn't get off the ground with Mahershala.
All right, here's the deal. Marv, this is virtue signaling.
Oh, yeah.
This is Kevin Feige. He would never, ever, 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 ever say this. It's false humility. He doesn't believe this for a second. But because it involves the type of people it involves making this movie, Kevin Feige is going to play the game of saying, I'm such a loser. I just couldn't help them get the movie made. They're so much better. I don't mind him hating that he didn't get the movie out. I don't mind him thinking like this is a loss, but Kevin Feige does not view himself as a loser. And so it comes across as completely inauthentic when he says it. And I don't believe anything about this. What say you?
It's the first thing he's ever said that I agree with. He is doing this so that all the Marvel fans can be like, you're not a loser, Kev. You're the guy who created the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You're the reason it's a success. Like, well, no, he's not. It was Jon Favreau, Joss Whedon, and the Russos that made the Marvel Universe what it was. And the second that they were all gone, Kevin Feige was exposed as the emperor with no clothes.
Wait a minute, let's add some more. Did you say Ike Perlmutter?
Oh, well, yeah, Ike Perlmutter having his hand on the wheel.
And Jon Favreau started the whole thing, and then Kevin Feige took it over and claimed credit.
Yep.
Without Favreau doing what he did, there's no MCU. And yet Kevin Feige, yeah.
Exactly. The Russo brothers, Joss Whedon, they all had a hand in what this became. Kevin Feige has driven this boat into the iceberg, and he's going down with it. He's throwing people overboard as it's going down in hopes to try to save himself, but it's not working. We saw Victoria Alonso was sacrificed for his failures, even though she also had to go.
If he's not careful, he's heading for Kathleen Kennedy status, because what we're finding out is without all these other people, he's not capable.
And I think that Josh probably sees that far more than Bob ever could.
Yeah.
Because I think Josh is a much different kind of manager than Bob was.
Right. Here's another crazy quote from him. Crazy quote from Geeks and Gamers again. Quote, we didn't want to simply just put a leather outfit on him, talking about Blade, and have him start killing vampires.
Why?
I'm sorry. I thought that was the whole thing.
That's the point.
Right.
So from what we heard about this movie was the reason why it kept getting thrown out was Mahershala Ali was like, if you want me to play Blade, I'm going to be Blade and I will be the main character of this movie. And what they wanted was they wanted to market a Blade movie and present a movie that bait and switches you into being a movie about Blade's daughter. The quote we kept hearing was Blade was the fourth lead in his own film.
Carol, I have a theory for what's really going on with this and why we're getting these kinds of quotes from Kevin Feige. My theory, Carol, is that Kevin Feige, and we heard this from Bob Iger, that one of the most proud achievements that they had was Black Panther. And now that they don't have the cast to carry the Wakanda series and Black Panther, I think they feel a strong need to find some other, franchise that can carry that cause that they have. And I think they viewed Blade as an opportunity to do so, and it just got too crazy. And for some reason, they're not willing to just say, hey, Wesley, will you do this for us? Like, that's the thing. They're trying to make this, if they get the chance to make this movie, they want it to be a social statement rather than what everybody else wants, which is, it's just a guy killing vampires, gratuitously killing vampires. They want a social cause film instead. Your thought?
I know that actor in particular is, the word's not fussy, but he has a lot of character integrity when it comes to portraying that character. And so he's not shy about pushing back at all. And so probably part of the reason it's not going through like how they want is because they're trying to pitch it. And he's like, nah, and I don't know what that agreement looks like for them. But I mean, you can't have Blade without Blade in it. That's kind of weird, right?
Right.
So that's probably, and I mean, good on him for that, because I've been hearing from my neck of the woods, I've been hearing a lot of studios trying to get actors who portrayed characters for a long time to like try and twist those characters. And the actors are like, I've been playing this character for 20 years. That's not what this character would do. It's like, will you just do it? And they're like, no, I won't.
Right. They're not going to be Luke Skywalker again.
Yeah. And so they're running into that. And I know, like, I mean, like I said, 20 years, some of these actors don't have to worry about money, but like when you have like the younger, newer actors who are just trying to get their name out, like they're a bit more easy to like maneuver. So it's, I really wish they would just give us what we want, which is Blade killing vampires. But I think they're not capable of that.
Play around with that for a minute, Marvin. I don't think I've told you that theory before, but the idea that they lost Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman is a tremendous talent. Chadwick Boseman was the reason that Black Panther was so successful. They tried to continue that on, and it doesn't look like that's possible without him. And maybe Blade, they saw as, we can do this again. And they're not willing to just give fans what they want. They want it to be something bigger because it's a replacement for something that is intangibly tremendous.
There's no overlap in those two movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those two characters have zero in common with each other.
Right.
Also, but with Black Panther, I think everything would have been fine if they had just recast T'Challa.
They should have.
They didn't do that. They saw an opportunity to make Black Panther a 90-pound girl, and they jumped at it. With Blade, I think they do want to make it a social thing because he's a Black superhero. But I don't think Blade being Black was ever mentioned once in 3 Wesley Snipes movies.
Right. Well, we say that he was the first Marvel superhero movie. And in some ways, we have been better in the 80s and 90s when it comes to race relations, and it seems like we've reverted in some ways. Lauren, nobody in the world believes that Kevin Feige wakes up in the morning, looks at himself in the mirror, and says, "I'm a loser." That is not part of the ego of any studio head in Hollywood. So, Lauren, why do they put it on so thick? I think it's a virtue signal. I think and Marvin says it's to gain empathy. What say you? What's the point of it?
I'm actually going to push back to make your point. maybe he does wake up in the morning and say, I'm a loser. And so he has to project that he is the architect of all of this that has gone before, and the head of this successful MCU. And Blade has laid all of that bare.
Oh my!
What say you?
You're giving me the Chris Farley explanation. They say that Chris Farley, would call people in the dead of night and say, Am I really funny? Am I popular? Am I just the fat guy that people laugh at? And people would have to talk to Chris Farley and say, no, you're really funny. Like, you have multi-million-dollar #1 comedies, Chris. You're really funny. He'd be like, no, I'm not really funny. I'm just the fat guy people make fun of. And you're telling me that this is Kevin Feige, that he has this insecurity maybe, and so that's him projecting. It wasn't like Perlmutter. It wasn't Jon Favreau. It wasn't any of these people. It was me, darn it. It was me, Kevin Feige.
Well, insecurity tends to lead to ambition to disprove your own insecurity. It gives you something to shoot for. And if you come to believe that maybe I can do this without Ike Perlmutter, maybe I can guide this without Jon Favreau. And at first, it looks good because everybody's praising you. But then as you have a successive 2 phases of movies that, frankly, are nowhere on par with the first 3, it would be hard to look at yourself in the mirror and say, maybe I'm kind of a loser. Maybe I'm not good at this.
Ouch. All right, folks, it's the house that Kevin Feige built. It's clear of everybody else who could be in charge. There's nobody blamed. There's no scapegoats left. And now he's bereft of Blade. Poor Kevin Feige says he's a loser. Tell us what you think. Is Lauren right? Am I right? Is Marv right? Caro took the point of just saying, hey, these are not the same characters. Don't try that anyway. Folks, tell us what you think about it. We'd love to hear from you. Parting is such sweet sorrow, ladies and gentlemen. It's only made sweet because there's more content on the way. We never stop. It drives the Hollyweirds mad. But we've got decades left in the can, and we keep going and going and going. Oh, wait. Are we showing our cards? That's right. We'll never stop going near and far and sending out the content you love. Folks, you can help us continue to do just that. Smash that like button. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.